And we're live! Woohoo! Welcome along to the live stream. If you don't know who I am, let me introduce myself very quickly. Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey. I'm one of the presenters right here on Adorama TV. We are live in my small home studio. It is incredibly warm in here. We're having a mini heat wave. So I think it's about 24 degrees in here, which in Fahrenheit is about 120. I actually don't know, but that sounds about right. So it is a bit warm. So yeah, this should be a fun session for the next hour. Let's see if I can survive it without passing out. Can you guess the theme? Balloons. So we're going to be doing some fun with black balloons and taking a few photos. Before we get going, let's see, first of all, whether anyone's actually watching. And I can find that out by checking behind the scenes because you can see them and you can hear them. I've got Freya on the Super Switcher, Sam on the chat.
Hello. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Yeah, we have got people here.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, we have. Would you like to know where some of them are from?
The edited highlights, yes, of course.
Well, we've got Alan here, of course.
Of course.
From Bushy Park. A couple of early birds. We had Jim as well from Sunny Thurrock and David, who said, "Are you ready?" We're all ready, David. We're ready.
What for?
We've got Sweden, Michigan, we've got Germany, Czech Republic, more from Sweden, and Monaco. Very exotic.
That is
California,
actually.
yeah, Los Angeles. Yeah, lots and lots of people here. So,
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Who knew there was so much interest in balloons? Okay, it's probably not that, is it? It's probably the fact that we're going to do something hopefully fairly DIY, not too expensive, but try and create images that go beyond just the light. So my plan of action is to set up or at least test some fairly straightforward lighting scenarios. But once I've got them dialed in, the twist is we'll add in a balloon as we go along, which when I wrote it down seemed like a brilliant idea. It's like, oh, this is great. And now I put it together, I'm suddenly thinking, I'm just going to add a balloon? Okay.
We also have Seth here as well.
Seth's in the chat. So usually Seth is on the Adorama events channel as well as the main Adorama channel. So if you haven't tuned in to the Adorama events channel, go find that after this one, obviously not yet, and go subscribe to that.
And I looked up what balloon fear was earlier.
Balloon what? The fear of balloons?
Yes.
Yes.
Globophobia.
What?
Globophobia.
Globophobia?
Globophobia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Tune out if you're globophobic.
No. This will conquer your fear of balloons. And we've got that wrong. The wrong way round. We're helping people. Yeah, it did cross my mind because we got an amazing model for this session and I did ask Sam, is she afraid of balloons? And then she pointed out we'd actually done a photo shoot where she'd been lying in a pool of balloons, so I guess not. Which actually brings me neatly on to give it up for the amazing Sophie! So Sophie is going to be the amazing model for this session, and let's just get going. Let's just take some photos. Sophie, yeah, I don't know, yeah, stand about there. Look at that, great start. I'm going to set up one of my favourite lighting, something with a little bit of drama. I think these photos are mostly going to be fairly dramatic. In my head, that's what we're going to be doing. So lighting-wise, let's talk kit. Today, I am using the Flashpoint Evolve 200 Pro. This is the Pro Mark II. Let me just show you what we've got, just so we can kind of cover that. Hang on a second, I've got a little light. Hey, there we go, how's that? Okay, so this is the Flashpoint Evolve 200 Pro Mark II. You'll find gear links in the video description to, well, most of the things I'm using. I was going to say everything, but you always add a few things as you go along. And then I've got a couple of soft boxes. This is the Easy Lock from Glow 25-inch beauty dish. Ignore the name, it's not a beauty dish because I've got a softbox cover on the front, so a diffuser. And then that's basically just a softbox, but it's a name, isn't it? So that's what we're using kit-wise. And for a dramatic lighting look, I'm going to have to move. Sophie, do you want to just step out of the way? So I'm going to put this. It is a small home studio. It's not like a film set where we've pretended it's small. It really is genuinely small. So I'm always moving things around. Come back in again. So dramatic lighting. I'm going to put light that comes in from a dramatic angle from the side, something like that. I might just move you a little half step backwards. Yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. Let's put it a little higher up as well. Okay. So in your mind, you can probably already imagine how this is going to look.
We were just messing with your audio, Gav, because we've had a couple of comments saying that the audio was a little bit low. So if you thought we'd zoned out, we're still here. So let us know in the comments if the sound is a little better for you. Thanks.
Which is always fun, because I always get the opposite. It's like, yeah, too loud. So, okie dokes. So let's see where we're at. What are we at? F6.3. So I'm going to dial in some default settings, make sure this actually dials in and gives me the results I'm after. So I'm going to go with my flash sync speed, 250th of a second, f5.6 for a reasonable depth of field, ISO 200. And at those settings, I want to get f5.6 on my flash. But I'm actually going to take a picture first. What's the first picture? We know, come on, we know this chat. Give me a clue. For those that haven't been here before, we always take one really important picture. Let's just
we had somebody in earlier with, remember the no flash, no picture shot. So, Bo, you were ahead of the game there.
Bo was ahead of the game.
I was going to read out something that Mike put on as well. I wonder if the specularity, love that word, by the way, it's great, of the balloon surface will overwhelm its blackness. We'll find out soon.
I mean, I wonder that as well. It's actually a very good question. Okay, so it's very nearly no flash, no picture, give or take, considering I've got a bright white wall, we've got a load of video lights in here, and Sophie's more or less disappeared. For what I need today, that is good enough. I'm going to go with that.
Lots of no flash, no picture.
There it is.
Both said I won. Yeah, you did.
I forgot to put my little belt on. Hang on, nothing to see here. Hang on.
Your cute little belt. Just your little belt.
Just getting changed off camera. Right.
Do you know you're off camera? Hey?
That's a good point. That's better. So now I can actually... There you go. That's easier, isn't it? So, no flash, no picture. I've made this, have I? Let me just double check. Live streams. Anything can go wrong in the next hour. F5.6. No, it's not quite F5.6. It's close, though. So what I'm doing is making my flash match my camera. And once I get there, then we're good to go. Yep, there we go. So for those that like to know what I'm doing that. Okay, so my flash is set to exactly the same as my camera settings, thanks to my little Seconic flash meter, just to confirm things as I go along. And in theory, this should be quite a contrasty picture. So if you're going to look at me. So we're going to do it badly first of all, because I'm good at bad pictures. Okay, bad picture, yeah? No light in Sophie's eyes, very zombie-esque. Sophie has got really amazing makeup, being an amazing makeup artist herself, but we can't see it. Sophie, just turn to the side. Okay, and there we can. So that is kind of what I'm after. That is great, it's nice and sharp. There's plenty of detail in there. It all looks good. I'm going to take a couple of pictures because maybe this might be the best picture. I add a balloon in, who knows, it might go horribly wrong. So we can take a couple of pictures like this just to see how it looks. Yeah, okay. We get the idea. That's nothing wrong with that. I actually think black and white is the way to go. So I'm going to pop it into black and white mode. Just take a quick little black and white example. Okay, that's nice. Will it be different with a balloon? Notice different, not better. I'm kind of like, will it be better? I was going to say better. Sophie, do you want to just step out a second? I'm going to bring a light stand in. So I'm going to bring a light stand in. And we've got a whole bunch of balloons to play with in this session. So plenty of options and plenty of ways of working with it. But the first one, I kind of thought I'll get my favourite, the biggest balloon I have. I've got this large balloon. How big is my balloon? If you're interested in the size of the balloon, it's roughly the same size as your screen. I'm almost contractually obliged to get that in now, aren't I? If I don't do that, people will be upset. So let's hang up a balloon. So I'm going to just hang it off of this arm. Can you see it better on the other camera? I don't know.
Hold on, I'm moving it. I'm getting there.
I was going to read you a comment, actually, that someone's put on. All in one. Hello, sir. I'm from India. I have seen your videos in Adorama TV, and it's really awesome. Thank you for all those videos. That helped me a lot. And because of that, I have improved my skill. That's lovely. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
That's really nice.
I mean, all of us at Adorama work really hard to make the content that you see, so it's always nice when we get a thank you for it. I mean, we do it because we enjoy it as well as everything else, but yeah, it's always nice to get a thanks. Right, Sophie, you're going to go stand in front of this large black balloon, and can you go right up against it? Yeah, there we go. So let's see how this looks. Will it improve the picture? You're going to immediately do a good shot. Okay, I'm not going to stop you. That's great. So how's this going to look? Okay. So what I like, there's things I like and things I don't like here. What I like is the light on Sophie's face. That's a big tick. I like this curve coming around here. I like the fact there's a little bit of weird texture. Less keen on that. Now, what am I going to do with that? I've got options. What are they? Anyone got any thoughts on how I could handle that? I mean, I could live with it. There's nothing wrong with saying, actually, I quite like it. And if you're wondering why I'm using this particular softbox, now you might get an idea. So usually I would use a strip box in a small space. I like strip boxes. But here today, I really want to use the roundest softbox I have, because the catch light is going to match the shape of the balloon.
Got some answers?
Already? Well, people are quick.
My answer would be move the spaceship. That's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Oh, it does? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So we've got in post, grid, fix it in post, feather the softbox, add a grid, edit in post. She's next to the Death Star. Grid, grid. And Karen said she likes it.
There you go, Karen. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody can tell you that you've done anything wrong if you like what you've... No, that's not true. People can tell you you've done something wrong, but they're wrong if you like what you've done. Grid. I think I might have a grid. Let me just have a little look and see if we've got a grid for that. Okay, let's add a grid in to the scene. Special auto-descending C-stand. It's a prototype that I've got. Not sure it'll catch on. Right, it was up there somewhere, wasn't it? Something like that. Okay, so this is the Pro Mark II of the Evolve 200, or if you're a Godox user, the AD 200. And it has a very nice, if I can find it, modelling lamp. So I can actually turn the modelling lamp on and see the reflection before I take the photo, which is super useful. But let's pretend I don't have that as a feature. Is the grid going to do wonders for me? Let's try and take the same rough photo again.
So,
okay.
Al Howard said the grid pattern will be on the reflection. So
Bingo!
Yeah, exactly. It looks very cool.
It does look very cool, but what have I lost? I've lost something kind of important. Where's the balloon
your
gone?
marbles?
My marbles. Oh, ouch. I've lost the balloon. It's just not there. So the grid takes the light and stops it spreading. So now, with the grid in place and in that position, I can't see the wall, which means I can't see that shape, the curve that I said I liked. Someone said about feathering, so maybe we could try both a grid and feathering. So if I'm going to feather it towards the wall like that, that'll light the wall. Let's see if that produces the results we want. Okay, there we go. Well, I've minimised the reflection. I can see the curve. Anything else wrong with this picture? Yeah. Now, we could add extra lights and work around it. But if I had an extra light, I'm going to be right back where I started with a reflection on the balloon. We could move Sophie away from the balloon. That's a possibility. We could do what somebody said and fix it in post, which is definitely a tempting offer, I have to say. The world has changed with post-processing and things like removing reflections where I would have said, now, if that's a use for AI, I'm taking it. Okay, not the grid.
Changing it to no flash, no Sophie now.
No flash, no Sophie.
Yeah. Where is Sophie?
I had the flash.
Bring
and
back
I still lost
Sophie.
Yeah, bring back Sophie. Start a petition. Right. So light goes in straight lines. So it'll bounce off a surface if it goes in a more or less straight line, but a curved surface makes it very hard to predict where that's going to go. But a few things I know for absolute sureness. Sureness, is that a thing? Yeah, sureness.
Irish
chap in
chap
Ireland,
we used to
I
know. Yeah. Oh, we got the same jokes.
Yeah. Okay, so I know for sure that if I get it elevated, then the reflection will be up here. And if I don't photograph until down here, I might be able to avoid some of that reflection. Let's try that.
We've also got a first-time watcher. So, hi, Jack, in Calgary. I was waving as well.
She was actually waving. Okay, so we're getting closer. That definitely helps. And if I had more ceiling height, or a lower Sophie, I suppose, I could probably get to where I want to go with this setup. But I'm going to try one other way of doing it, and that is to use size. Size of your light source. The bigger the light source, the softer and more diffused the reflection should be. That's the theory. So if I get the light source and put it directly onto the balloon and elevate it up, something like that, so they're almost touching, that should give me a softer light. Just got to work out Sophie's height and how much room I've got. Now, I'm not going to use a light meter to work this out because I wouldn't really know where to point it at this stage. It could be anywhere. Okay, just look to the side. Let's see where we're going to be. I'm probably going to reframe as well. Okay, that's pretty close. That's not bad. I'm getting closer and closer all the time. Let's get that in there. Oh, watch that. Sorry, hit you with a balloon. Daniel jokes that a softbox is the thing you want to drop on your model because it's soft. He's never thought of a balloon, has he? Okay, let's get it right in there. Okay. Fixed. Got there. So I've made the scene work. We've had to modify it from where I started to get the best out of it, but that's the same basic lighting. So in theory, we should be able to take a bunch of pictures. Let's see where we go. Beautiful. I'm going to adjust my flash a little bit, make it a touch brighter. I'm going to have to Photoshop out the light stand, I know, but that kind of works really well. I mean, if you didn't think I was going to get there, let me know in the comments. Did you have total faith? I must admit, there was about halfway through where I thought, well, it should work. I wonder if it will.
Seth's put, Daniel has a fear of balloons. Well, at least that's the rumour I'm starting.
People do. It's not an unusual phobia at all, and I get it. They're kind of odd. So I love the curve. I'm always interested in curves. I find curves fascinating, and when you can create your own, then so much the better, especially using a low-cost balloon.
So Al Jarrod, thank you for telling me how to pronounce your name. I've been saying it wrong all this time, sorry. Sophie now looks like an astronaut from some old Doctor Who from the 1960s.
60s. But, I mean, I don't remember. I wasn't born. Like, just wasn't born.
And Steve said those photos really pop.
Hey, I knew someone was going to do that. Yes, well done, Steve. Okay, so that's kind of fun. That I'm going to, we could do. I haven't got time. I was going to say I want to do some more, but we don't have the time because we've got other things to be doing. Let's move this back. So let's try something else. Let's try another kind of fairly classic lighting position. Let's move this out of the way. Sophie, I'm just going to spin this. Watch your head because it could whack you in the head. And wow, That could be terrible, couldn't it? So you're going to come stand back underneath. Yeah, about there. That's perfect. All right, so we've got fairly safe standard lighting position, 45 degrees, elevated. Your classic light position, you know, arm's length from the photographer, all of those terrible things we say don't do that, but let's see if it works. Sophie, I'm going to pop this near your chin. F6.3. Let's see, that needs to come down a little bit. So once again, I'm just going to adjust my light, pointing my flash meter at the light I want to meter. There's only one, so that's not too hard. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, so once again, I've made my flash match my camera settings. For those that like to know my camera settings, it's those.
So,
Okay.
Aaron asked, which strobe are you using?
Aaron, yeah, so I'm using the Flashpoint Evolve 200 Pro Mark II. And the Mark II is kind of good because it has a slightly better modeling lamp. Not that you'd see it in here because the video lights are somewhat brighter than pretty much everything else. But for normal photography, the Mark II is great. It also goes down to 512 power. So it has a few advantages over the Mark I Pro. Right, let's take a test photo. Let's see where we're at. Okay, it kind of is hard to take a bad picture of Sophie. We do joke, but you know, this isn't exciting lighting. This isn't. It's kind of safe. It's okay. I'm not going to get overly excited about this. But you know, Sophie just makes it look great. These are the bad pictures, by the way, Soph. So just don't save your good poses and so on. So it's a fairly safe lighting, but if I add a balloon in, will it get any better? Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's add a balloon in. Here it comes. Okay, so this time, same balloon, same idea, but rather than giving a rim-lit look, I've given it a position where Sophie can actually interact with it. She can hold it, she can, I can't think of another word for interact. That's it, isn't it, really? Hold it. You could write your name on it with a Sharpie. I don't know, that's kind of it. So, yeah, is it going to work? I actually don't know.
I think that's why Sophie's a model, not you, I would say.
Is it? I should have known. Yeah, I should.
Because you don't know how to interact with a balloon.
Yeah.
Two things you could do: hold it and write on it.
I think you have to give your model guidance, and I think that's enough. But I don't want to tell her what to do because otherwise it becomes too much of me. And I want it to be organic, and I want it to flow.
What are you on about?
I don't know. Right. I watched a YouTube video.
It's very hot in here.
It's been a long day. All right, would you like to interact with the balloon? Okay. So what happens? So a few things are going to happen. Firstly, I'm going to get shadow where I didn't have shadow before because I've got this massive black balloon right in the middle of the shot, which I think is kind of fun because I like a bit of shadows and what have you going on there. That kind of looks good. So I reckon I probably don't have to do much more than this.
I was just trying to find the comment that Stephen put in earlier. Photoshop an enormous 8 onto it and pretend it's a pool ball.
Oh, I see 8.
Yeah.
I thought we said egg.
No, not 8.
Why do I want an enormous egg? That's just weird. 8, yes. Okay, I think I'm actually going to straighten up the light a little bit. Even though we had a fairly fixed position, I'm just going to move it just a little more central. Just a tiny little bit, just to try and shift that shadow.
Can you just let us know what camera and lens you've got as well, please?
Yeah, so today's camera of choice is an OM System or Olympus OM1, Mark I, which is the one where the autofocus for eyes was adjustable left and right. Feature that isn't available in the Mark II, weirdly, which is why I like the Mark I. Lens is the Olympus or OM System 12 to 40mm, and you'll find gear links to all of this stuff in the video description, including the transmitter, which is a Flashpoint R2 Pro transmitter.
While you're here showing us things,
Yes.
will you show us your little belt? Yeah, please.
That's the weirdest request I've ever had from my daughter.
And the accessory. Yeah, thanks.
So keep it secret, keep it hidden. Okay, that's my spider holster, which isn't, I couldn't find a link to Adorama on that one, so I know they sell them, I just couldn't find the link for it. So anyone from Adorama is watching and knows the link, feel free to drop it in the chat. Okay. All right, so that was kind of nice. So yeah, let's take a few photos. Let's try it in color as well, because I've been working in black and white. I'm working in RAW, so, shall I turn the transmitter on?
It's optional, that's what I hear.
Okay, let's try that again. That's better. So that kind of works quite nicely. We could take a few color pictures, because if you're working in RAW, it doesn't matter. Everything is color when you open it up, unless you're using software that can understand your camera settings. However, if you're working in JPEG and you take only black and white, you've only got black and white. Whereas if you're working color and you're working in JPEG, you've got both black and white and color choices you can post-process afterwards.
Okay, the link for the holster is in the comments. Adorama has popped it on there. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much. Okay. Or we could throw a little bit of a color shift in there as well. So that kind of works quite nicely. Yeah, Sophie's working it. Ooh. I think I might have to change the batteries on my transmitter. We'll see. Just noticed it says absolutely flat, because that's what happens when you go live. Okay, so that's kind of fun.
Mike's got final shot, Sophie with a pin, and well, you know the rest. Gavin's timing will be critical. That sounds like a challenge, Mike.
Well, yeah, I did think about that, Mike. Honestly, I was going to do that, and then I thought that might scare some children, you know. We used to do that. We used to do camera club talks, and we used to get one of the members of the audience to hold a large red balloon, and we used to burst it. But we'd tell them it was going to happen on 3, and then Sam would always burst it on 2. It was hilarious. Those were the days. Right, okay, so big balloon, that's kind of fun. We're going to do one more with a large balloon, and then we'll move on to a different balloon, because I want to get my value for money out of this. I need to suspend that from the ceiling in a second, but first of all, let's set up a lighting idea where it makes sense without the balloon. Once again, mind your head. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, there he goes. What? Living dangerously. It's a small studio, there's a lot of things to trip over. So what I'm going to do is probably, Sophie, can I get you to sit in the corner? So I'm going to pop Sophie in the corner. I'm going to get a light. Now, if I was lighting Sophie, no balloon, which is what I'm doing, I'd probably get my light and pop it right up against the wall, and then let the light skim across the wall and into the corner. So what should happen is we have a lit wall and a slightly different lit wall, a three-dimensional effect. That's kind of the idea. Something like that. Let's get a flash meter. Let's see what sort of light we're getting down here. F4. So I can either work at F4 or I can increase my light by 1 stop and get myself back to F5.6. Go back to colour. Okay, not quite sure where I'm going to be yet. I'll probably go over here so I don't step out the video. And yeah, not thrilled at all. Maybe black and white will fix this. Here we go, let's try a bit of black and white. Okay, happier with black and white. But it needs a bit more, and that bit more is going to be a grid. So I'm going to add the grid. So the grid, if you've not experienced a grid, what a grid does is it stops light from going off to the sides. So as I do this, okay, can you see how that works? So the grid blocks light, in your case, the camera angle, and only allows light to come through from a more controlled angle. So it stops it from going almost at 180 degrees and limits it to more 60 degrees or thereabouts. Different grids, different effects. It also takes away a bit of light. You lose a little bit of light, usually about a stop. Today, well, who knows? I'm going to pop this near your chin, Sophie. Here we go. Yeah, F3.6, so I lost more than a stop. Okay. Let's try that again, holding us near your chin. Yep. Trust me, F5.6. Okay, so let's see how this affects the picture. There you go. Same picture, same light, just the difference is a grid. Now I could have added this sort of vignette effect inside of Photoshop. I could have done it in post-processing. I'd much rather do it in camera. But also I'm getting a little bit more sort of texture on the wall. You can see there was a plug socket there once upon a time. I'm never going to get a job as a plasterer, am I? I mean, that was my plastering. So let's hope the photography doesn't go wrong. And if you want to stop me from being a bad plasterer, then you need to click the like button and subscribe to Adorama to keep me in a job. If there's any plasterers out there, they probably won't bother because I'm not really a threat, am I? Okay, so I've just changed the angle a little bit just to try and get a little bit more of an edge going down the wall. I think I prefer it where it was. So this is okay. We could take a bunch of pictures like this. Let's take a couple.
I've got a question.
Yeah, far away.
So Joe asked, was there a reason behind why you're going with all black for this one?
Because I'm going with black balloons, I actually asked Sophie to come in black, which kind of fits Sophie's look as well. Would that be fair? You're kind of, yeah.
Most of my wardrobe.
Pretty much everything she owns is black. So when you're theming a photo session, you want to make sure that you get the right idea for the model that you're working with. So if you've got a beauty model, that's great. You probably don't want to be doing dancing moves. If you've got a dancer, that's great. You probably don't want to be doing beauty because you're not getting the most out of your model at that point in time. Sophie is definitely, well, let's say we've done Halloween a couple of times, haven't we? Do love a bit of dark. Okay, so this is kind of fun. I'm including right up to the ceiling as much as I can. I'm probably including a bit too much of the light, but that's what happens when you work in a small home studio. I've certainly got room to add a balloon into that. So let's add a balloon. Let's get rid of this balloon and add another balloon in. Hold on.
So Dave has said, come on guys, start giving the thumbs up. Yeah, so if you haven't already, you can go and like the live stream. That would be brilliant, thank you.
Sorry.
That sounds good.
So, I've got a balloon. I've attached a bit of, this is one I prepared earlier. I've stuck some tape to the top. It's actually quite hard to stick to a rubber balloon, so I can actually hang this balloon as if it was full of helium. And there's two reasons I'm not using helium. The first one is, no, three reasons. Three reasons I'm not using helium. First one is it's incredibly expensive. That's actually, you could just stop there. To fill this with helium would cost a fortune. It's not good for the planet, but also, rather than hanging it from a piece of string, I'm using a length of actual chain. Okay, it's actual metal. You probably want to step out for this, yeah. And I'm using length of metal chain for a couple of reasons. The first one, I think it looks good. And the second one is I couldn't find any black string long enough. Whoop. So it's chain because I couldn't get enough string. Let's just kind of hook that on there. Whoop. So I've got just enough of this paracord to attach it and no more. That's it. Okay, right. It should be safe. If it falls, obviously catch it. But if it does, it's a balloon. Yeah, you're fine. But in the photos, that could be filled with helium. I'm not going to go all the way up to the top. I'm not going to worry about the top. I'm going to take it probably a crop around about here somewhere. I'll probably have to clone out the little piece of plastic that's stopping the air from coming out. But hopefully that is reasonably good. Let's take a test photo and see where we're at. Here we go. Okay. So same lighting as before, but now we actually have something in the scene. And the reason I think this probably works better, feel free to disagree, is because it gives something for Sophie to do. It tells a bit of a story. Bearing in mind this is straight out of camera, nothing done to it yet. It kind of works quite well. And it's just a little bit more intriguing than just a why is she sat in the corner. Now you've got why is she sat in the corner holding a balloon. That works. I mean, Soph's probably thinking, why am I sat in a corner holding a balloon? But yeah, I don't blame you. I'm going to move around. Thing we get wrong as photographers is never moving our feet. I didn't think about how loud it would sound, though. That didn't cross my mind. I think the best angle is right down this wall, so right where my laptop is, of course. And I think that's kind of a nice angle. Really important picture. Okay, hang on. Next one. This one, incredibly important picture. Here we go. Even better is if I actually put it into aperture priority mode, because I was in manual. And I do that. Why is that picture important? Let me know in the chat. Why does that picture matter so much? There's two reasons in my mind.
So Adam said, I like these.
Thank you, Adam.
And Tosh said, go to the naughty corner and stay there.
I will, Tosh, right after this live stream is finished. I always do. Sam makes me do it. Okay, whilst they're all writing things down, I'm just going to take a few pictures. And I'm going to come right the way down here, come down to Sophie's.
There you go. You've had some replies.
Okay, far away.
BTS.
Oh, let's put it in black and
keep
white.
a record of the session.
Yep.
Remember the setup. BTS.
Yep. Exactly right.
And
it is those two exact reasons.
Hello, team. Gavin from Ghana.
Hello. Sophie, can you
so
put
you can recreate it again at a later date and document your work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Can you rest your head against the wall behind you? There you go. That's better. So it's exactly that. It is a behind the scenes, which is super useful for social media. I'm just changing my camera position as you go, Soph, so keep going, it's good. But also a record for yourself. So when you're looking back at these images in a few days, a few weeks, a few years' time, you look at them and you think, that's what I had. I had one light up there with a grid. You can interpret your own lighting setup and then recreate it when you get that client that says, I want to do a perfume commercial and I need a shot like that. Okay, you can go, yep, done it. How did I do it? Yep, Seth's on it. Don't forget to smash the like button. It does keep the channel going as well. So if you are watching and you've made it this far, if you're watching the recording, hello recorded people, you're halfway through. Marvellous. Okay, so we've done the big balloon. Shall we do some other balloons? Because that is not the only balloon we got. Sophie, do you want to hop out? I need to pop that off and change a few things around. So let me just set everything back up again and we'll do a very different look. If you've got any questions, now is a brilliant time to get them in because I'm going to be moving some stuff around the studio a little bit.
Your placement was so close, yet so in the way.
Oh, oh, that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Thank you.
I know, didn't even get the branding in, did I?
I was just going to say that, but I couldn't quite see one of them.
There we go. So if you can take that home if you want.
Jorge had a suggestion, add a counterweight on the top chord of the balloon so the weight can be adjusted.
There you go. Didn't think of that.
Next time.
Next time. Yeah, next time we do this session. Right. So I've got a whole bunch of balloons. Literally, I've got bunches of balloons. This is where this whole idea started. I was having a bit of a sort out and I found about 100 of these black balloons in a cupboard that we had done for a photo shoot with Soph many years ago. So Sophie was lying down in a pool of little tiny balloons, and I remember buying loads of them, thinking I'm going to need them, then realising I didn't need that many, and then refusing to throw them away because I'd spent good money on them. And they've been languishing in a drawer for quite some time. So I thought they'd make a nice background. I'm always looking for interesting and unusual backgrounds, so I thought these would make nice backgrounds. Again, I couldn't find any black string to hold these up, so these are being held up by, well, can you guess what am I using to hang these up? Let's see if this helps. Did you guess HDMI cable? I've got a lot of them. Whoop, whoop. Right. Okay, now we should have done probably a safe one, but I forgot because time's getting short.
Yeah, they've guessed it.
HDMI cables.
Yeah, well, old USB cables.
Yeah, old, micro USB cables.
And
Okay.
Mark wants
that a
to
bit
know,
high?
did you blow them up, the balloons?
Did I blow them up?
No,
I
me.
did blow them up, Mark.
No, me.
But I have a machine.
There's a machine. I've been replaced by machines. You could have seen that coming.
Right, okay. Okay, I'll put them a bit high. Sophie, I think you're going to sort of stand about here. I was going to get you to sit down, but... Oh, yeah, perfect height. I knew that. Right, okay, so let's get my light. So I'm going to put one of my classic lighting setups together, ignoring the fact that I've accidentally hung the balloons up too early. That's live streams for you. If it was a normal Adorama video, then I would fix it in post, in the edit. There we go. So one of my favourite single flash setups is to get a single flash and get it super close. Just step on to the that's better. Good. Super close, at a bit of an angle, something like that. Okay, let's find my flash meter and see what sort of exposure we're getting. F12.7. F12.7, I kid you not, that's what it says. Zirconic is superstitious. There is no F13, which is what I would expect it to say. F12.7. Always makes me smile. Yeah, it can be a lonely job being a photographer. Right, F5.6. Okay, so everything's set, everything's in a good position. Let's go back to colour and see how this looks. So what are you expecting from the background right now? Were you expecting this? Okay, nice light, a gorgeous light on Sophie. Sophie's amazing eyes, fun with the grid. That's always a fun thing. You know, if you're thinking, oh, wait a minute, you should have done a little bit more. Sophie, chin down a touch for me. There you go. Awesome, so we can do something like that. And it's a nice, simple lighting setup, but there's no background whatsoever in this. And that's because of two things. It's because the grid, remember the grid, stops the light from spreading to the sides. So it's stopping it from spreading onto the background. But also the inverse square law means, well, we don't talk about that in these live sessions, do we? But we have videos on Adorama TV. If you want to go and find out what the inverse square law is all about, we've got plenty of content you can go and watch, but not on a live. Right, so what I would do is get a background light. So now I've separated Sophie out from the background, I'd get a background light, pop it in behind Sophie, something like that. Oh, top tip, with the second light, it's really important you turn it on. I mean, I've never not turned it on. I've always remembered. It's just one of those things in my career I've always done. But there might be new viewers. They may not know. No, probably not. Anyway, okay. So background light. Let's pop it down to 64th power. Let's see how that goes. Okay, this is going to be amazing. Are you ready, Sophie? Okay. Happy birthday! Right. That's not what I had hoped for, if I'm honest. Maybe if we had like
nice
100
hat, though.
Balloons.
It does look like an outlandish hat.
It's not good, is it? I'll be honest. So I wanted to find out, will balloons make my pictures better? I should have caveated that with saying they might not. And in this case, I don't think... I tell you what we should do, black and white. Let's do that. That's going to make it better. Black and white. Definitely black and white. I'm going to zoom in a bit as well. Here we go, black and white. And... yeah, that's worse. Somehow I've managed to go the wrong way. This is definitely not what I hoped for. Okay, well, there's that. So, I'm going to ask the audience. Audience, what do you think? What should I do? How can I make this better? Any thoughts on what I can do to improve this picture?
So Paul has already come up with a suggestion before you
thanks,
asked.
Paul.
Yeah, preempted you there. Maybe less exposure on the balloons.
Got it, Paul. I'm all over it. Here we go. I'm going to go, I've got 2 options for you, Paul. So this is 2 stops less for Paul. Here we go. Okay, that is 2 stops less for Paul. And I reckon I want to probably go this far, Paul. Here we go. This is option 2. I'm going option 2, Paul. That's all off, vastly improved. I'm open to other suggestions.
You've got some more suggestions.
Oh, good, okay.
Point the background straight up.
Point the background straight up.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Point the background light straight up. Done that. Turn it on. Done that too. We're going to bounce it off the ceiling. I can see where they're going with this one. Let's try it. I don't know, maybe. Okay, here we go. I mean, it's actually not the worst suggestion. It's not good. Okay.
I don't think we can do this one. I think Steve means smoke.
Small.
Yeah.
I think small would actually work well as tool, but I haven't got any small or smoke.
Coloured gel and smoker.
I don't have any coloured gel either.
Well, it's black and white at the moment.
It
so.
also wouldn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Smoke. I think if you
Mark said
completely
pop
fill
the
it.
balloons.
I mean, Mark, I think I'm kind of getting with you there. What about shallow depth of field? Anyone put that? Let's try that. Let's try shallow depth of field. Okay. I'm going to try shallow depth of field. I've got a 45mm f1.2 lens, which I run at f1.4. And let's see, let's go high speed sync. Let's go 2,000th of a second. Let's turn off the background light and work out the key light. So here we go, quick little test photo on Sophie. Okay, I nailed it first time out. Okay, that is high speed sync without the background light on. Let's put the background light on and see what we get. Oop. Here we go, Soph. Quick little test. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm having to go super close to get minimum depth of field because I don't have a big studio space, which isn't really working for me. And if I back up a little bit, you know, it's still not working. So here's the thing. Really creative ideas, the really creative stuff that you see on the internet or that you see at your camera clubs or your events or wherever it is, those really creative ideas are born from failure. Lots and lots of failure. It is okay to fail. I mean, we tried this earlier. We tried a lot of permutations. Did any of them look good? No. We backlit the balloons, we had them from angles, we did all sorts of stuff. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
There's something you haven't tried.
Oh God, what is it? What have we not tried?
Steve suggested a nice red lollipop.
Oh please, Steve, yeah. Ice cold. I could do with an ice cold lollipop right now. Oh, funny feet. I used to love funny feet. Remember those? Funny feet. Oh, quite warm now. Yeah, you're too young for funny feet. They were bright pink, probably full of terror. No, you never heard of funny feet? Oh, really?
Seth has put, it's not about not failing, it's about understanding where to go from there.
Well, yeah.
That sounds really deep, actually, Seth. I like that.
It does, but there are times when I've just realised that an idea isn't worth pursuing and that your time and effort is not going to reward you with a picture. You know, knowing when to say stop is as important as to say keep going. It's a skill that we learn. Let's just say I failed a lot. So, is this a complete disaster? Was this not worth the effort? Nope, we're going to make it work. Let's get rid of some of these. Sophie, can you just hold that for me? Thank you very much. Let's get this one down as well.
So Michael suggested letting Sophie hold them, which...
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just useful, full stop. Hold that one for me
although
as well.
Mark also suggested that you could make Mickey Mouse ears with the balloons.
Well, balloon modelling.
We could all have Mickey Mouse ears, couldn't we? Yeah, great idea, Mark.
Oh. All right, okay. Let's get rid of all of this.
Seth's adding to his book of quotes. Editing yourself takes many forms.
Wow, that's very blimey, Seth. Yeah. That's very deep. We should have quote of the day from Seth. Keep going. We've got nearly a week's worth if you get me another 5. Okay. Yeah, just go stand up against the wall. Right. job done. So Sophie is now holding the balloons, the same balloons that looked absolutely terrible when they were against the background. Sophie, just go a little that way because I can see you're not in the... There we are. Okay, hopefully we'll look better if we actually give them to Sophie to use as a prop. So a failure, yes, but a potential success. Let's see how we go. I'm going to pop this near your chin. And I've got extra lights firing, so let's just turn that one off. So I have the beep on. I don't know if you can catch the beep on the audio. I have the beep turned on of my flashes, not because I need to know what the recycle time is, because that's the idea with those things. It tells you the recycle point, because all I want to know is my light actually turned on? And if I can hear 2 beeps, I know I've left 2 lights on by mistake. Okay, f12.7, whoa, that's bright. Oh, and also it's on a f3.2, 4.5, 5.6. Got to change over lenses because I've just realised I've got the wrong lens on here as well. Lens change. Okay, just hold them by your side. That's fine. Let's not do the modelly thing. Let's just stand there, and you're going to look straight down the lens for me. Okay, that is not. Oh, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. I'm just gonna no test. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put it in black and white. That's colour. This is the same exposure in black and white. I've got quite a contrasty black and white as a preset. I think I have a flatter one as well for those that like to see a little flatter black and white. Oh, it's also in self-timer mode. I can't imagine how that happened.
Have you ever used one of these cameras before?
I mean, I have, but for some bizarre reason, the last person who used it must have been taking a self-portrait. That's odd. Who would have done that? Okay, so those two are the same exposure with a different internal editing. So I can slightly soften it. I think I don't want it quite as contrasty as I've got there. That works quite nicely. I'm going to adjust the exposure to what I see. And that means that we can get Sophie to do her thing. Okay, Soph. Awesome. So earlier on, we were talking about the fact that we didn't like the hotspots. I'm going to argue that without the hotspots, these pictures would be really bad because the hotspots are giving this 3 dimensions. Okay, let's do that really important picture before I forget. They're giving it depth. Quick little, just behind the scenes, nothing to see there. There we go. Feel free to disagree with me in the chat or throw your comments in. Sophie is available for balloon modelling work if you really if you need.
So, Paul's put great shot. Then he went afterwards. I mean, grape shot. Very large grapes.
grape shot. Yeah. Let's just check. Did we get it in focus? Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, just go stand in the middle, in the corner, in the middle. You're in the middle, in the corner.
I'm just going to say we've got 7 minutes.
I know.
And I know you've got one more.
I have, right?
And you've got to get those other balloons out.
Yeah. God, blimey. Everyone's a critic. Yeah, but I'm taking these. How fun is this? Last one. Because, yes, we have some other balloons to go. Okay, cool. Right. Let's... They are very noisy. Honestly, what that and chains between... This has been one noisy balloon session, hasn't it? Okay, so we've got one more to go. You might want to step out for this. One more to go. So I've got one more set of balloons. So we have, if you've been joining us, well, you missed a bit at the beginning, we had a very large 3-foot diameter balloon to start with. Then we had the small standard balloons. And, well, what's the last sort of balloon that you can imagine? Because there's one more shape.
Water balloon. Water balloon.
Oh, yeah, I actually didn't think of that. Oh, that would have been lovely. Okay.
Not with all these electricals.
Woo! So these are modelling balloons. And as you can see, I've modelled them into a jellyfish.
Ah, you didn't think of this one, did you?
Bacteria.
Hot air balloon.
Hot air balloon. That's never going to catch on. Hot air balloon.
Oh, Tracy. Ooh, a spider.
Too many legs. Too many. I think that's a. Oh no, has it got 8? Might be a spider. I'm not going to count. I think it might have 12. Right, let's sort some bits and pieces out. So we get rid of that.
While you're up and moving around, could you plug the laptop again in, please? It's just flashing on my screen. No, from the other side on the floor. Thank you.
Oh, I unplugged it.
Yeah, I just stood on it.
Oh, I did stand on it.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
Cables everywhere. What am I doing? I've lost track of what I'm doing now. Here we go. That implies I had some idea in the first place. So I want to hang this against the wall, and I want to use it as a creative background. This might go badly wrong and could be the worst ending to a live stream we've done probably this month. Maybe not. Okay, so let's pop that on there. Let's push that right back against the wall. Bear with me a second. Oh, there we go. Right, Sophie's about that tall. Okay, balloon modelling. Anyone done any? Look at that. Is it balloon modelling? Is it the thing from Venom? Crawls around? Are we going to turn Sophie into Doc Ock? Go stand up against it. Let's find out. Let's find out. Okay, lighting. How are we going to light this? I think we're going to put a little bit of an angled lighting coming down here.
You've got lots of comments.
Do I want to know what they are?
Looks like an alien from One Step Beyond.
Madness.
No, I don't think it's madness.
That's the symbiont from Spider.
Oh, I didn't know how to say that. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Christmas tree after 3 months. Stranger
They
Things.
still look the same. Never seen it.
I'm medused by this idea of a background. Yeah,
boom.
it's giving Medusa, release the Kraken.
Okay.
It's a hat.
It does look a bit
Looks
like
like an exploded flash head.
Just going to move that way
This
a
is
little
the
bit.
spider from my dreams. Oh dear. Yeah, bad hair day photo.
Okay, so if I'm going to pop this near your chin, F10, so we want to bring that down a little bit, well, quite a bit really. Okay. Okay, let's go there. Okay, quick little test photo just to see what we've got going on.
It's like a face hugger from Alien. That was my thought actually as well.
Okay, so really what I wanted it to be was a kind of creative, fashion-y background. Think fine art kind of idea. I've got the light stand right in the way. I mean, it's real talent to do that regularly. There we go. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So what we're doing is we're just creating something with intrigue, with a little bit of what is it going on. And that's what you want with your pictures, just to make them stand out, just to be a little bit different. Had we not had that in the background, and we'll grab a couple before the end without that in the background, it would be a bit kind of dull. But also it gives something for Sophie to interact with. Would you like to interact with the modelling balloons? Yeah, there's a great big stand in the way, isn't there? Yeah, okay, let's bring this forward for you. Here we go. How's that? Try that. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Fantastic. That's it. Just bring a couple around in front of you. This is the hardest modelling job I've ever done. I'm going to give you that one to grab hold of. There you go. Fantastic. Yes, you are watching this. Yes, this really is a photo shoot. Welcome to Adorama TV. Yes, we do crazy things because we can, and mostly because it's just good fun. You're not having fun with your photography. It's not too bad.
And cover of Vogue.
Ascot.
And then cover of Vogue. So it's one extreme to the other. Brad's put, no, Sophie, run.
I happen to think that's quite good. For balloon, if anybody's interested, you can also do that with them. Okay, there we go. Look at that. There we go. Yes, that is one of my own creations. I reckon I could probably sell that. What do you reckon? So back in the day when we were wedding photographers a very long time ago, I learnt how to do this. This was what I learnt to do for wedding photography, because there's always that gap between sort of wedding photos and a meal where kids need entertaining, and adults. So I learnt how to make modelling balloon dogs as a wedding photographer. Highly recommended. Right, last pictures. I'm just going to take this out the shot. We're doing it in reverse. Stand up against the background or close to it, and then we'll just take a couple of pictures like that, because without the balloons, does it look good? Yeah, of course it does. It's Sophie. It looks amazing. Does it have the same kind of what's going on? Not quite. Now, you don't have to like one or the other. You don't have to say one is better than the other. All you have to do is be prepared to have a go at something and then make a decision on whether that was a success or a failure. If it was a success, brilliant, keep going. If it was a failure, learn from it, try something else, be experimental. Righty, there we go, top of the hour. Any other questions? Are we good to go? We're awesome. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you found that useful. As always, massive thank you for Adorama for allowing me to speak on their channel yet again. If you've enjoyed this, we're back again in 4 weeks, I think, on a Thursday. 4 weeks on a Thursday, because it's a Tuesday today, which is confusing. So I think about 4 weeks anyway, next month. But if you can't wait till then, we always have a new video coming out. We had one last week. I think we got one the week after next coming up on Adorama. So go check that out. And Adorama live streams on a very, very regular basis on the Adorama events channel. So if you haven't subscribed to that, then definitely go follow that one. Thank you very much to Freya on the Super Switcher, Sam on the comments.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming along, everyone. Thanks for all your questions, the chit-chat, the laughs. It's great. Had a really good time. As long as you didn't hate balloons. I hope you enjoyed it too. Or spiders, because it all went a bit creepy at the end, didn't it?
When we started this, everybody in the room was like, we're doing what now? But I quite enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it. It was great fun. But amazing, Sophie, for making it all possible. So thank you very much, Sophie. All right, we're out of here. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.